Right, now we can go. Should we start again?
Yeah, go for it.
That would have been a good outtake, that as well. Showing our knowledge of technology.
Welcome, everyone.
Second time round to episode 5 of From the Shack. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve, and Deck is here as well. Yeah, episode 5. So we're going to be covering a few different topics. We're going to cram a bit more in, I think, topics-wise than we
Yeah,
usually do.
yeah.
We're going to talk about, which was already the planned topic, the difference between grilling and smoking and what we
Or
prefer.
both.
Yeah, yeah,
Both,
yeah.
I like doing a bit of both, smoke then a
Yeah.
grill.
We're going to touch on the 12 Days of Christmas, which is kind of just a bit of fun. 12 reels that we're going to do on the run up to
Yeah, we've been working in the background. We've had a few guests working in the background.
which is very, very cool. That we want to do more stuff like that, get people involved in what we're doing on the pod.
Yeah.
So that's been cool. And obviously, sort of like a last minute segment stroke topic that we will discuss is the Bovaer scandal, which is going on at the minute. If you can call it a scandal, if it even is a scandal or it's
Yeah.
scaremongering,
A lot
we
of
don't.
misinformation out there.
There's loads of there's loads
I
of
took
conflicting.
5 minutes and had a quick read, and I was absolutely shit.
I got a headache. I did it. Well, as soon as I seen it, I think it was like midweek last week when it sort of popped up. I just went online. I thought I'll find out my own information and just I got a headache trying to do. But what we'll do is we'll talk about the things that we've heard. Again, fact check all your own facts at home, but we'll come to that later on in the podcast. So I think one of the normal things that we do in the podcast is we discuss what we've been up to since the last pod, since we last got together.
Cooking.
What we've been cooking, where we've been. You've had an exciting time.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah.
You may as well kick off there.
Yeah, at the weekend, I went into Manchester,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas markets.
Very nice.
Yeah, we got the train up to Manchester, so I had a bit of a walk around the markets. To be honest, I thought the markets were a little bit busier than normal.
It's not on Albert Square now, is it?
No, I've heard it when it was
I was at Town Hall.
It seems to be that because everyone gets off the train off at Piccadilly, they get off the train and it's literally there.
Yeah.
So there's not as much as a walk, and it was literally shuffling like feet to feet.
I understand that sort of thought process of let's put it closer to where people are going to get off the train and get off the tram or whatever. But for me, it's nicer in front of the Town Hall.
I quite liked it when it was there. Yeah,
not nicer buildings.
Yeah,
It's not got the greatest reputation.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it wasn't that difficult to get served.
Right.
So I mean, that's normally your worst bit in it to get served. But actually, getting served wasn't alcohol. Like getting served a few beers and that wasn't really a problem. It was more just actual moving.
Yeah,
it was just so busy. And then again, walking through the centre of Manchester was so busy.
Mm-hmm.
And even just going to bars and stuff because everyone was going there for the Christmas markets. It was a little bit too busy.
Yeah.
So we were booked in at, I can't believe what one of the things called now.
Oh, so do you have slots then?
No, man, about the
you Thingy Canteen.
That was it.
Medlock,
we were booked in a Medlock canteen for 6:30.
Yeah.
And by 4 o'clock, I mean, we didn't go till 2 o'clock, but by 4 o'clock, I was absolutely had enough.
Yeah,
I got there for 2 o'clock, and we did a little bit of shopping and a bit of water in the markets, and I just said, I can't be dealing with this anymore. Yeah. So we went to a couple of bars, and then, to be honest, we went to Medlock canteen at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And because it's a little bit out of the way, in Deansgate, it was, to be honest, we just sat and had a few drinks in the actual place before we sat down.
Yeah. Was it busy there?
Yeah, it was quite busy. It was quite busy, but you could just sit down and have a couple of drinks. They had a Camden lager, but like I think it was like an orange version.
All right.
A bit orangey. It was a bit of a different. No, I've never seen it before. It had like an orange logo, so it's a Camden with an orange logo, and I assume it was like a bit of an orangey twist to it. Very nice. We sat down. We had a starter. We had smoked cheese croquettes.
They did look mega them. I think I've seen them online doing it.
It had like a chicken mayo or something underneath it, which was sat on a chicken mayo. So it had a really good flavour of this smoked cheese, but then also you could really taste the potato.
Yeah.
So I love it when you.
I was going to ask you that. Was it a potato croquette or was it
potato based? But you could really taste the potato.
Yeah.
I always think that restaurants are like fine dining restaurants, even though this was fine dining, but in a bit more of a relaxed setting.
Yeah.
I always love it when they sort of get the most out of the ingredients, and you can really, it almost tastes like the food's on steroids.
Yeah,
So like, you know, it was like potato on steroids with a load of smoked cheese.
yeah.
And all the compliments. It was really nice. And then we had, for a main, we had a turkey schnitzel, which was absolutely massive. I mean,
You sent me a picture of it.
we could have shared it, easily could have shared one, but we had one each. And I mean, it was huge. I think I can eat, and I couldn't finish it.
Right.
So it was a turkey schnitzel, cooked perfectly, you know, still moist inside, perfectly crispy on the outside. And then they had like a salsa verde on top.
Yeah.
And a duck egg.
Duck egg.
It was really good. And then we had a couple of sides. We
never had a duck egg. It just says the menu.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Is it more greasy than that? Is it like got grease?
No, just a bit bigger.
All right.
Just a bit bigger. Anyway, and we had a couple of sides, like carrots, like honey and whole grain mustard roast carrots. There was some chips. What was the last one that we had? I think it was like some kind of pickled cabbage.
Right.
Again, all really nice. And then for a dessert, they do. To be honest, we shared a dessert because again, I couldn't have finished the dessert after eating that huge schnitzel.
Yeah.
And for a dessert, they do like a take on a McDonald's apple pie.
Yeah, I did.
Which I think's really cool.
Yeah.
So but this time they have like different fillings. So I mean, I assume because pumpkin, and we're not that far, you know, that we're still pretty close to where Halloween was and when pumpkins were sort of in season. So they did a pumpkin one.
All right.
Again, that's probably quite like Thanksgiving-y type.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was Thanksgiving on it on, was it last Thursday?
Yeah. So maybe. But anyway, it was, and they do it with custard.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. Really, really nice. We shared a bottle of wine.
It did look really good.
Yeah, really, really good.
Would you go again?
Yeah, I think I would. He does it. They've got quite a few restaurants. So the guy that done it was on Great British Menu a couple of years ago, or maybe last year. And I think it was a couple of years ago, actually. And he's got 3 restaurants. He's got a taco place in Manchester. Is it called This is Madri or something like that?
I don't know.
There's a taco place in Manchester. There's that, and then he has Belzan, or he worked at Belzan in Liverpool. And to be honest, Belzan is one of my favorite restaurants. So it wasn't as good as, I'll be honest, it wasn't as good as Belzan, but it was cheaper than Belzan, and it was such a different atmosphere.
It is. I've not been. It's somewhere that I want to go. So I was rather jealous when you But I think loads of the restaurants that are popping up now, like which are the more casual, finer dining, that kind of fit.
Yeah, I quite like a bit of that. I do, to be honest.
Was it all a la carte, or was it starter, mains, dessert, or what's the like taster menus?
No taster menus. Which means quite.
I think it's going back that way.
Back that way.
Yeah, I think.
But how do you if you were running like a large menu, how do you get it like really good? You know, in a.
Was it an expansive menu, or was it quite?
No, it was quite a short menu.
Like 4 starters, 4 mains.
Yeah,
that's kind of. I think most menus now that I'm seeing are kind of going down that route, which I quite like.
You know, they had you basically picked your protein and then picked your sides.
Yeah, sides. I think people are going a little bit more out there with the sides as well, which is
there was all stuff like green beans with anchovies, but you know,
you should have tried it.
No, the missus says she doesn't like fish, does she?
Well, no, I think I quite like that because I do like a tasting menu, but I think when it's like gets to like 8, 9 courses, it's too much.
I struggle. I always think that I'm gonna walk out there starving because I always say it's like one chip job.
Yeah.
And I didn't like fine dining, by the way, originally. I used to go, I'm not eating that rubbish. It's like one chip job.
Yeah.
I'm going to be full off one chip. And then I've done a few and was like, oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever eaten.
I'm similar. It was very, before I'd sampled it, I thought it was a bit pretentious and was kind of like, what's that? I want meat and 2 veg, which I do love. I want to get stuck into a plate of food, but when you've tried it, I see the benefits of both. I think a tasting menu.
Be small, you know. You also like if you're doing a 9 course, you're like, this is too big, or you want them to be small.
Yeah, and I see the benefit to that many courses and getting to try what that chef can do with different things. Yeah. But then at the same, I think it depends what mood you're in. I don't think it's like, oh, I like tasting menus, or I like just a 3-course a la carte. It's whatever you feel like doing that on that day.
Yeah, well, this didn't.
But a lot of it's going back.
It was reasonably priced. It was good. Yeah. Nice area on Deansgate.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's like a few. There's a bit.
Which part is it? Near Flying and Hawksmoor?
No, no. There's it's where Salvi's. There's like an Italian restaurant
So is it down towards Victoria Station end?
behind Victoria Station. It's like, it's like this square. It looks like it's been
where Kennels used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It looks like it's been revamped, and there's all new units there, and there's about 5 restaurants. Look like modern restaurants.
I've not been in I mean, I used to be in Manchester all the time because I lived I grew up not far from outside city centre Manchester, but I live in Altrincham now. We're quite a spot for choice.
Yeah, it's quite good.
I rarely go.
Where I live, though, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm in a small town with absolutely nothing. So if I want decent food, I'm travelling.
Yeah. So you would recommend it then?
Yeah,
if anyone's in and around Manchester.
Yeah, I'd recommend. It's good.
I think we mentioned. I think it's probably worth mentioning as well. It's that time of year. People are venturing out to different cities. There's a new restaurant open which I sent you.
Yeah, you did.
Which is
it looks amazing.
There's no gas or electric used in the kitchen. It's all open fire. Called Stowe. And it just looks mega.
Yeah, that's what we want.
I cannot wait to try it. I think I'm going on my birthday, which is in between Christmas and New Year.
Full fire cook.
Yeah, it looks mega. Menu looks really good. And the reason I was asking about the menu there is the menu looks really stripped back. There's not loads on it, but it sort of ticks every box.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a few things on there.
It looks mega.
A meat dish, a fish dish, a veggie dish. I'm being pretty. To be honest, I'm not that fussy.
Yeah, I think when I go, we started to do a thing. Me and my missus, we'll get plates to share, even if it's not a sharing menu. So we'll get 2 mains, but we'll share. So they do a ribeye there, which is massive, ex-dairy ribeye, which will come on to dairy beef later. But it just looked so nice. I think they use Littlewoods in Stockport, if I'm not mistaken.
There's a lot of restaurants in Manchester that use Littlewoods. Yeah, like a lot.
And it is quality meat. But they do a fish dish, which I think it was a monk tail. Which I've never had. I watched some of the reels that they put out the week that they opened, and it looks insanely good.
Yeah, I've had from the Flintlock. It was one of the best starters I've ever had in my life, and I still remember it. Like, I think if you like some of your best food, you'd remember it.
Yeah.
So this was a tempura fried monkfish tail in a lobster prawn butter sauce, bisque sauce.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. It was just every single mouthful I was getting something different.
Yeah.
So I was getting like the sort of fish taste, the crispiness of the batter, which was really light.
Yeah.
And then I was getting stuff like one mouthful was getting coriander, another mouthful was getting like a lemon, and I was just getting different flavors at each mouthful. And I think I can cook, but I would find it really hard to replicate something like that, where it keeps you so interested, where every mouthful you're like, oh my God, that's new flavor.
They'll probably have that. They'll be cooking that base probably days before you get it.
Well, I get that. I mean, that is, to be honest,
days just built
one of my favorite
on layers.
One of my favorite restaurants, Chef Tom Bateman.
Well, I've never been, but we'll have to do it. We'll have to do it if we're still in next year, mate. We'll have a podcast Christmas do.
Yeah.
And we'll have an.
It's not far from me.
We'll have an open invite. See you, man.
It's not even that far from me.
No, it's not.
No, not legal.
Well, we did say at the start, didn't we, that we're gonna try different places. I definitely want to go and try. I know it's not a fine dining, but I want to go because I said I would, and I hate saying I'm going to do something I do. I want to go to Pappy's.
Yeah,
we can sit down, just have some food, and chat about that. Maybe interview the owners while we're there. If they're up for it. But I want to do more stuff like that. But yeah, so that's our new restaurant segment.
I think that's a restaurant.
I mean, it's supposed to be talking about what we've been cooking, but we're just 12 or 10 minutes about where we've been. The worst thing we can do is start this when we're hungry, talking about stuff. But yeah, go on. What have you? From a
cooking point of view, then I did a Carol and chicken curry.
Yes,
which is more like a traditional one, not what I'm used to. I'm normally used to I cook the gravy and then I cook the chicken tikka separate and then I assemble it. This was like more of a traditional style. So, you know, you're sweating your onions down for longer, again, getting the flavour into it that way, cooking it for, you know, a longer period of time rather than just a quick BIR, it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you sort of finished it with this like an oil with, you put like dried chilies, curry leaves, and then sort of infused the oil.
Yeah.
And then poured the oil on the top at the end. which was quite new.
What was it called? What was
A
it?
Kerala chicken curry. Kerala. I mean, my accent is probably not how it's supposed to be said.
That's it. I used to cook a lot of curries and stuff like that, but I'm not. I went down the VIR route like you.
That's what I mean. I've always, because you get a banging flavour because it's really concentrated.
Yeah. Well, I grew up around a corner from Rusholme.
Yeah,
so I always wanted to recreate
that's
VIR
it.
curries.
So I always do that. So instead of doing that, I thought I'll try something new. It was very nice, and I did a side of onion bhaji's.
Very nice, loving onion bhaji.
The onion bhaji's were so good.
Yeah.
They weren't cooked on a barbecue, if I'm honest. But
well, you struggle, won't you? I mean, you're going to risk blowing your barbecue.
I struggle with it. I don't fry on my barbecue at all because the temp swing for me, I just don't.
The only one I have done and would do, I wouldn't do it.
Have you done like a shallow fry or something?
Well, I've got on the small fire.
Maybe it's got a bit more controlled.
It's got a big cast iron that I got with it that drops in.
I suppose it's a little bit, the temperature's a little bit more controlled on something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe even
it's really secure.
Maybe even like the Blackstone or something like that. You could maybe do it on that, but
is that going to get hot enough?
I don't know.
It's probably worth as an experiment waiting to happen, I think.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I've always thought I've done loads of like stuff with frying and stuff in the past, and until I got a proper deep fat fryer, it just you're just playing at it, and it's you're coming out with fried chicken that's burnt on the outside and raw on the inside. It's just so we did the curry, and then I also did another recipe from the Beefy Boys book. It's becoming one of my favorites actually at the moment. I did like a fried chicken. And I was like, it was a toss up for me between this one with like a sort of gravy dip, or it was the Nashville, and I was just like, I mean, I love Nashville hot chicken. I mean, I absolutely love it. And they do a Nashville hot chicken with oil as well as a dust.
Like a dry, Well,
they do both. So I think that's pretty good. So you've got like the oil so you've got the seasonings of the actual coating, and then you've got like an oil that you dip it in afterwards, and then you've got a rub. So you've got like really like loads of flavour getting into that chicken. So it was a toss up between the two. I ended up doing the one with the gravy dip. So it was brioche bun, fried chicken thigh, dirty mayo, which is a mixture of mayo, mustard, pickles, and then plastic cheese, and then you just dip it into a fried chicken gravy. It was, it was, and we also, to be fair,
anything you dip it in gravy is going to be good.
Well, just to make it even more, we even did like loaded fries, which I think the missus used like a full pack of plastic cheese just to melt it down, pour it all over the fries. It was really good, like really, really good. And then I did a turkey burger. I did a bit of a turkey burger again. They do a similar turkey burger in the Beefy Boys book, but I just went with my own, really, what I thought. So I created turkey patties, created stuffing patties. And I cooked them on the plancha on the KJ. So while they were cooking on the plancha on the KJ, I did a couple of pigs in blankets around the outside. So a couple of pigs in blankets around the outside. I'd done some streaky bacon, toasted brioche, and then I did a gravy mayo, melted brie, cranberry sauce. Again, it was just filthy, to be honest. I mean, I suppose it probably was a little bit healthier than the fried chicken because it was lean turkey mince.
You keep telling yourself that. Look.
Yeah,
you keep cholesterol. It was lean turkey mince. Ignore it was 3 cups of mayonnaise.
7% lean turkey mince. So I'm hoping it wasn't that unhealthy. So I did that, and then yesterday I haven't put the reel out yet. But I did a smoked turkey.
You did, yes.
So bit of a smoked turkey, and I've used a mop sauce, which I've never really done, to be honest. It's not something that I'm used to doing. I normally just rub on and then let it get to temperature and then wrap in butcher's paper or in foil, depending on what I'm doing. So using the mop sauce and mopping it every 30 minutes, I don't know, I've never done it. And I always thought, like, when you're doing like brisket and stuff like that, you don't want to ruin the bark. So
it's a butter-based mop.
So it was out of Genevieve Taylor's book. So it was out of seared. And it was a butter, coffee, and maple syrup.
Coffee?
Right. Yeah, it was like a it was just like freshly brewed coffee, a few tablespoons of
maple syrup,
yeah, and then a load of butter.
Yeah.
And just periodically, every 30 minutes, just mopping it. And the colour that I got.
Yeah.
They had some hickory wood on there, but the colour that I got,
it was like proper mahogany on it.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, I've even brought some today for us to try.
Yeah. Well,
so again,
get it open.
There's some really big slices there, mate. So you can tell how moist it is. What do you think?
Taste the smoke on it, right?
Wow.
That's mega, mate.
Like that.
Really good.
No.
Really good. Proper moist.
Yeah. And that's not wrapped as well.
I can't tell if at the back of my throat I'm getting is the smoke or if it's coffee. It's similar, isn't it? Coffee and smoke. I think it's a similar flavour. Excuses eating my mouthful while
Yeah. And I used one of the Firefly rubs.
I'm going to be nibbling on that throughout the pod. So do
I used a what's it called?
Which one?
One of the Texas ones.
I don't know.
Lone Star. Lone Star.
Oh, Lone Star. Peppery one.
Peppery one. I thought.
It's good, that one. Yeah, I like that one. That's really nice, mate.
With hickory.
Yeah, it's good. Really good.
I brought some in for work today, and some people tried it, and then they're like, I'm Turkish dry. I nuked it.
Yeah.
Because I was part of my dinner. They're even nuking it. They were like, I can't believe how moist that is, even though you've nuked it. I was like, well, yeah.
I think people have just had that perception about turkey, don't they? Because most of the time when you have done a turkey, or whenever I've done a turkey in the past, or I remember my mum doing it, she'd start cooking the turkey on Christmas Eve and it'd still be cooking on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when you got it, it was just this stringy, almost.
So I cooked this to 70 degrees.
Yeah. I've done 65.
Yeah. Be raw.
So I've seen a few raw things online as well.
So I've cooked it to 70 degrees.
It's very good.
So, yeah.
So I recommend anyone try.
275 or 130.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 130 and 140 odd.
Yeah.
And it took about 3 hours mopping it. So again, I'm quite impressed. It's something that I've not done really myself before. So getting that extra flavour in, I think it's quite good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'd be nice to go side by side. I'm not saying I ever will do this, but it'd be good to go side by side and try the two methods to see whether it is the mop or not.
Well, we might have to do another turkey breast before the year is out.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
I think we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing turkey.
Well, we can see. We can see what we think. Like, we maybe can mop it, maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, easy, all right.
Yeah.
But
it's very good, that, mate.
I like the black pepper.
Yeah.
The black pepper in the rub.
It's good. I like it.
So, as well as that, we did quite a few sides.
Yeah.
We had fire roasted sides. So, roast potatoes, beef dripping, load of rosemary in there, straight on the barbecue. Again, cooked them on the internal grill for about 6 minutes first, fluffed them up, let them dry, fluff them up, straight into the hot oil. And then I did some honey roast carrots.
Are you doing them in the carbon steel pans?
Yeah, in the carbon steel pans. I did both of them two in the carbon steel pans. And then because I've only got two, I ended up using a lid of one of the Dutch ovens that I've got. And then I did some sprouts with some pancetta.
Nice. In
the lid. What I did was, to be honest, there's nothing worse than having like hard sprouts. So I just give them like 5 minutes. 5 minutes whole. So I did 5 minutes on the internal in the internal gas hob.
Yeah.
Just to soften them up a little bit, and then half an hour in there with the bacon, pancetta, and it turned out really well. Took them off. This is all while the turkey's resting. So again, it's all about timing and stuff. So this is all while the turkey's resting. It needs a bit of a rest. So while the turkey's resting, they were on for about 45 minutes. Intermittently the potatoes went on first, and then give it 5-10 minutes, and the rest of the stuff has gone on. Took all that off, foiled it, and then what I did then was I did this cabbage. So, I cooked some onions and garlic, softened that cabbage in, and then some Christmas spices.
Yeah.
And then some cranberries in. I weren't sure about the cranberries, if I'm honest, because I just thought they're a little bit like they can be really
Did it
strong.
work with the cabbage?
Yeah, but I just thought that like sometimes the
Yeah.
the sort of cranberry flavour can be a little bit offensive.
Well, it can
It's a bit
overpower
too
them quite
tart.
easily. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not got a sour.
For me anyway, it was I like sour stuff, but I
Mm,
just yeah. And then I added a load of sugar and some red wine vinegar at the end.
mm.
But again, like you've already got something that's sour in there
Yeah.
to then add the vinegar as well.
Yes.
Anyway, I mean, it was again just sauteed that on the KJ wok on the barbecue. Again, assembled it, took it all inside, chucked it all on the plate, gravy, obviously shop bought gravy.
Ooh.
I know, but do you know what, right? Do you know what?
Deck.
I know, but what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna catch all? You're gonna catch all your juices on the barbecue to do it
Well,
properly. This is the thing, because like I don't want my gravy to be dead smoky.
no, but whenever I'm in a pinch, if I'm like, "Ah," and I need to do a gravy, I'll still do it the traditional way. So I'll make a roux, and
Stop.
I'll use cupboard stock,
Mm.
go in with that, and then add in like a bit of pepper, a bit of salt, because cupboard stock's never enough. You need to add something else into it. But I've started to use Henderson's relish, which is for I think it's like a vegan version of Worcestershire sauce, because Worcestershire sauce got anchovies in, so it's not vegan. I don't think. I think that's
The V word.
but Henderson's is mega. Henderson's, so I put that in it. Just adds a bit of flavor. It's weird. I'll come to it in my. But we did a similar thing. I did a chicken on Sunday, chicken roast. But I'll come to that when we're doing that.
Well, that's it, really, mate. That's what I've really been cooking this week. We did a few little bits inside, like we did some gnocchi.
Yeah.
It was like a baked gnocchi with chorizo.
Right.
So yeah, chorizo, onions, tomato sauce, and then baked off in the oven with mozzarella. You know what? Absolutely banging for an internal cook. Internal cooking.
I think Italian food in general, like pastas and things like that,
I don't.
they're always the go-to, aren't they? Because they're just. I don't want to use the word easy, but it's
Yeah.
it's a cook you can do that's quick, and you end up with a decent dish.
I don't often do outside though.
No, there's no point.
Yeah, the only thing I would do outside is I seen someone do it on Instagram this week. They did a smoked beef ragu.
Yeah.
To be honest, with like a thick pasta. To be honest, that's one of my
Yeah.
faves.
Who was that?
Was the lad that runs the barbecue community.
Lee.
Yeah, Lee. Yeah.
Lee Bishop. Shout out to Lee Bishop.
Yeah.
Um,
But he loved banging. And to be honest,
Yeah.
I love doing stuff like that. I did send him a message saying, I love that. And I love it with like pappardelle pasta, you know, like the real thick ribbons. You used to be able to buy it in Asda.
Yeah.
But like, I haven't seen it in there for years. So if you want pappardelle, you'd have to traditionally make it, like, but I can't be bothered. So I
Waitrose
done like
Waitrose do it,
recently.
but it's not all the time. So they change.
Usually.
But
But that's me. Pappardelle is the one.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Real thick pasta, real thick ribbons that hold.
You know what you could do?
And I love
There's
that.
any sheets.
Yeah, I thought about that as well.
There's any sheets, just slice them.
Slice them. I thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I've been cooking for the last couple of weeks, really. Then. What about yourself?
I've been doing quite a lot. Some of the stuff it's not that I can't mention. Obviously, I can mention it, but it's been Christmas themed because it's been obviously for the 12 days of Christmas, which we're running, which we're starting in just over a week. So for the 12 days ending on Christmas Eve, we'll be releasing a reel which has got like a festive Christmas theme to it. Just a bit of fun, really. Like we mentioned at the start. So me and you are doing a few each. We're going to try and do a joint one for the last one.
Yeah.
And then we've got a few guests involved, but we're not going to give that away. We'll let that sort of just play out. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I did do some ribeyes, a couple of ribeyes for dinner.
That's silver ribeyes, my favourite.
Which were spectacular, if I do say so myself.
My favourite steak, hands down.
If you get a good steak and you just cook it properly and you don't do any of the bells and whistles, you can't go wrong.
So I've stopped having steak for a while now.
Yeah, I can't.
Because I'm just sick of paying top dollar, and then I just go, first thing I say, she'll look at me and I'll be like, could have done this better.
It's overcooked, it's undercooked. Or the thing that gets me is when it comes and it looks the part, but it's an uneven cook. So it's like really, really almost too pink in the middle. If there's such a thing, but then it's overcooked on the outside. That's the worst thing. And a lot of restaurants do that. I think if they've got a sous vide, you're all right. Because you can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
but not every restaurant will use sous vide. So yeah, I did a couple of ribeyes, and I did that with a sweet potato puree, which I love. I love my purees. I love doing purees.
Well, sweet potato, a lot of people have done a lot of sweet potato for this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because
See a lot of people.
sweet potato is, yeah, it's one of those. It's like, I mean, black pumpkin, and it's all the same sort of thing, and squash, and it's all kind of a similar thing. But I boil down the sweet potato with a 50-50 mix of water and butter, season with salt and pepper. Just boil them to death, and then just put them in a mixer. Drain all the liquid, but keep it to one side. Blitz it. Season again. Taste as you go. If it's a little bit too thick, just add a little bit more of the liquor until you get the consistency you want. And again, you can either just spread it, or you can put it in a piping bag and pipe it, do what you want with it. But
You bet you did the piping, didn't you?
no, I didn't. I just got a spoon on and circled it.
I'll bet you did.
But for me, I'm trying, because so in 2025, I am going to start trying to be a little bit healthier. Like, I really wanted potatoes. I really wanted potatoes, and I love potatoes. I love potatoes in every form. And I'm not going to stop eating potatoes.
You're not going to go keto on me, are you?
No, I'm not going to stop eating potatoes because I love them too much. But if there's an opportunity where I can have a substitute that's just as good, then I will do. And I think sweet potato and steak go really well anyway.
Yeah. I've just seen a lot of people doing this keto stuff,
Yeah, I know.
and it's actually a little bit. It does seem to really work, you know.
The problem is, it's whether you can keep it going or not.
Yeah, just
Because then when you stop it, whatever you do, the way I look at stuff like that, when you're going to diet or change how you eat, it's got to be something that you think, right, well, I want to do this. This is how I'm going to eat now. Because if it's not, if you just think, I'm going to do it for 3 months.
I spoke to a guy, and he said that what they do is like maybe have like the odd cheat night still, and it's not so bad as long as you're not. But he said like what happens is for them is that he said if you had like a couple of chips, you'd be so full anyway.
Yeah.
Your body totally changes.
Well, when I was younger, when we got married, I was hammering the gym. I go to the gym 6 days a week, and the reason I didn't go 7 is because I had to physically stop myself from going, because I think I've said this before, I've got like an addictive personality. So when I start doing something, I start doing it.
You go have podcasts.
Right, yeah. But I was hammering it, and
Quit your job.
I used to just have a day off. Yeah. I used to have a day off. Diet-wise, so I'd be dead strict 6 days a week. Like, I'd have really healthy breakfast, lunch. I'd be counting calories and all that kind of stuff, watching what I ate. But then I'd have 1 day a week off where I didn't ever think twice. Whatever I wanted, and it worked. But I was younger then. It's different when you're older. Your body changes, and
I'm trying to be a little bit healthier, but not like ridiculous.
Sweet potato, mate. Sweet potato banging. Try that purees. Mega. But I had that, and then we were talking about on the last pod, I made again the creamed spinach with anchovies in it. Great. And I did the Hawksmoor mac and cheese again because my kids are my favorite. That's the whole reason why I ended up having the steaks.
So with the Hawksmoor mac and cheese, did you use all them different types of cheese?
Yeah, but I didn't use them types of cheese. I just went in the fridge and seen what I had. Yeah. So I actually had blue cheese, quite a bit of blue cheese in it this time.
What does the blue cheese? Did the blue chease bring much to it? Does that?
You could taste the blue cheese, yeah.
Could you?
Yeah, you could taste it. There's a lot more cheese in. Yeah. I liked it. My youngest was like, "Oh, it tastes different, Dad." And I was like, "Is it still nice?" She was like, "Yes, I get it out."
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know because very, very nearly. I had yesterday when I was doing the turkey, I was really umming and ahhing what sides to do. I was umming and ahhing what to do. Do I do like a roast, or do I go 360 and go mac and cheese?
Yeah.
I couldn't decide whether, and we were thinking, do we have pit beans, mac and cheese, smoked turkey? And I didn't want it on a bun though.
Yeah.
I just didn't, when you just didn't fancy it on a bun.
Yeah.
So when you do it like that, it makes me want to have it on a bun.
Yeah.
So I just thought, no, I'll stick with it. We'll go with the roast type.
Well, when I did it, I mean, it started off, Daisy wanted mac and cheese, so that's how it started. And then I thought, well, I may as well do the cream spinach. I may as well have steak. But I was like, oh, but I had this the other day. But then I made it, and it was delicious. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm glad we had that with the sweet potato puree. It was really nice. So that was one we had. We had a night where we just had like hot dogs, like dirty dogs. It was literally jar hot dogs, just in. I got them Subway, the rip-off Subway buns from Aldi instead of hot dog buns because they're bigger, because they were the big hot dogs on the big jar.
Yeah.
Did that, like crumble up loads of crispy bacon, crispy onions, all different sauces.
I just like
it was mega, and the kids love it, and it was easy. So I did that, and then on Sunday did a roast dinner. But I did my roast dinner indoors because if you remember, Sunday
indoor
was a joke. Weather was an absolute joke. So I did it indoors. So it was like proper roast chicken in the oven, but still used all my bits and bobs for barbecue. So I wrote down how I did because I forgot what it was. But I put hot sauce in my carrots.
Okay, so
just to try it.
Was it good?
It was really good, yeah.
Was it too spicy?
No, you didn't like eat them and go, oh, this has got hot sauce on it. It was just like that nice bit of heat. So I always put honey on my carrots anyway. Yeah. So I still did that, but I just put hot sauce in the water when they were boiling, and then just tossed them in a little bit just before I put them in the oven with the honey, and it was they were banging. And then I used that U Legend rub from Harry J's, Liam's pal from Stoke, in with my greens, similar to how you did your cabbage, sautéed onion, garlic, salt, pepper. Threw a load of that in, and it works. It's like a little minty hint to it. Really good. Really good. Yeah, and then proper gravy.
Yeah.
Proper gravy, mate.
Well, I'm saving it tonight. When I say it was like one of the ones in the extra special tubs, like, it wasn't
was it fancy jars?
It was a fancy one. Like, it wasn't like it was probably an Asda extra special or something.
Special. That's like value added.
When it's when it comes in a fancy tub, like it's a bit more.
Cost £6 more.
Yeah.
So I did like all the trimmings, like roast potatoes. Roast potatoes.
I just couldn't be like when I do a roast, like I end up doing loads of different veg, but sometimes I just like normally I always do roasties, mash. I always do like both. Some people like
never have double potato.
I have double.
Never.
I do roasties, mash, and about 3 or 4 different veg, Yorkshires, with every roast. And I just like at the weekend, I didn't want that. I wanted to concentrate because whenever I do that, the extent of my veggies is steamed.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? I'll tone it back a little bit and just concentrate on them. So I made them, put bacon in sprouts.
I'm similar. Whenever I used to make a roast, it was like stupid, like the washing up after was a joke because you just use every pot because you've got like 500 different things.
Yeah, that's what we did.
When I am stripping it back now, so
I like to strip back.
Yeah. You get to enjoy each thing more. And otherwise, it's just a massive food.
Well, I didn't have a million leftover plates.
Yeah.
Of food.
We had the carrots, the honey hot sauce carrots, the greens, and roast potatoes. They were the veg, and then obviously chicken, gravy, and Yorkshire pudding. There'll be people screaming at us now who say you shouldn't have Yorkshire pudding with chicken. I have Yorkshire pudding with everything.
Yeah, I like Yorkshires, but I just, to be honest, because I was fire roasting, I'll be honest, because everything I cooked over the fire, sometimes when you've just got the one barbecue going, it's quite difficult because stuff like Yorkshire puddings, you've got to basically leave it in there and just leave the lid closed.
Yeah.
If you open the lid, it's shit in it.
Yeah.
So I would have had Yorkshires, and I do have Yorkshires with every roast normally. However, when I was deciding I wasn't turning my oven on, I was doing everything on the barbecue, it just didn't really work.
If I didn't do roasters, my kids would string me up. It's the only way I get them to eat roast dinners. Do Yorkshire puddings. Okay. And that was pretty much it. The only other thing that I did have this week, which I didn't even post on, I think it was kind of a last minute thing. It was we went to watch Wicked with the girls, which was great. I wasn't looking forward to it, and I ain't gonna lie, kind of enjoyed it.
Did you really?
It was all right. It was on for too long.
We went as well.
It was on for too long for me, but it wasn't. I was expecting it to be terrible. It wasn't terrible. It was all right.
Well, we went to cinemas in Altrincham.
Oh, did you?
We actually went to Altrincham cinemas, not the same night as you, another night. And
Which one did you go to? The one next to the Big Italian? Near Sainsbury's.
Yeah, near Sainsbury's.
Yeah, we went to the Everyman. So you get to sit in a sofa and all that.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you know what?
3 times as much, but it was all right.
Do you know what? I've just come to the conclusion that I don't like films with singing in.
I know what you mean. There was too much singing.
Yeah, it was the same with that Joker movie.
I've not the second one.
I've
not watched it.
I didn't realise, and I never knew. I watched it was like when it first come out, and I never knew it was supposed to be a musical.
I didn't know it was supposed to.
Well, after the 5th song, I'm looking at my missus going,
"Is it a musical?"
Well, Lady Gaga's the lead. the lead woman in it.
I don't know, because the first film wasn't musical, was it?
No, but this one is basically.
This is the movies that got people engagement.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just come to the conclusion. I don't. Do you know what? I don't. This is the thing though. I don't mind going to the theatre. I give it.
Yeah.
Like, I think if I'm in the mindset that I'm going to the theatre,
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I don't mind a bit that, but just going to the cinema and I'm watching a film and I'm in the mindset I'm going to watch a film.
Yeah, that'll do my head.
I don't know. And after the 5th song, I was just looking around thinking, what the hell's going on here? And the same with Wicked. After the 20th song, I was just like,
there was the odd
there was
the odd song that was all right, but there was a lot of songs that were unnecessary.
Yeah, I just thought, I can't deal with that song. Can you not just carry on?
It didn't have to be as long as it was.
And that's carry on in the movie with that.
And it's the first half of the film.
I've noticed, yeah, so that means
3 hours.
To be honest, I'm thinking of my exit strategy for the next one. I don't think I can do it. I don't. But that lad fell asleep and I thought, I wish I fell asleep.
Yeah. It was all right. The girls loved it. But my girls are pretty much into all that musical theatre stuff anyway.
Yeah, so. My little girl, she enjoyed it and she loves prancing around singing all the time. Yeah. But it's just not me, really.
It was all right. I didn't mind it.
No, but I'm queuing in it.
No, no doubt. I think I said it on Instagram. I said, cut it in half, have less songs, and had a bank robbery, and I'd have been all over it. But yeah, that was all right. But
have a KJ in it, or a fire pit. Then yeah,
we had some food there, which is quite nice. It's one of the modern cinemas where you can order food and have it brought to you and everything like that. Expensive as hell. Like super expensive for what it is, but
yeah, that other one in Altrincham, I think it looked a bit tired. The outside and as you walk in, looks really good and modern. But when you actually go into the cinema and the seats and everything,
it's pretty old.
It's really old.
Yeah, it is.
But some of the seats were out of order because they were all like smashed and ripped.
I don't think he's doing as well since Everyman opened. Everyman's been there about 3-4 years.
There's a few in Manchester though, where you can like a fancy one where.
That's what the Everyman is.
Is that the same one?
It's down near the food market. It's good. If you're ever going out on a date night with your missus, it's well worth it.
I think I've been one where you can you sit like VIP out the way or something?
Oh no, it's basically it's couches. So it's not like cinema seats. It's all couches. And and they bring you food to you and everything like that. It's good. It's all right. Yeah. So we went there, we had some food, but then it was all like snacky food.
Yeah, like
bits and stuff. And bits and like chicken wings and stuff like that. So when we got
what are the wings like?
All right, just chicken wings, aren't they?
They weren't
not good ones. They were tiny ones, baby wings. I made that night because I was hungry. Didn't take any pictures or anything, and I've done it before. I think there's a reel on my Instagram if you go all the way back where I did tempura coated crispy bacon with Marmite mayo, and it just popped into my head and I thought I'm going to make that again. It was mega.
Do you want to go into the grilling and smoking?
Yeah. Going on about
this episode, grilling and smoking, and I'm going to spend half an hour.
That's how we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do it with a run. Yeah, so let's do it. Let's jump into
what is your preference, smoking or grilling?
It's difficult because
it's different.
I like both, but if I had to pick one, the one that I enjoy the most is probably grilling.
Smoking for me.
I'll tell you the reason why I prefer grilling. It involves steak. It's the first one. But I find smoking.
I just like getting the extra flavour in. I was amazed.
I get that. But
I was amazed, mate. See, I was amazed when I found out that depending on what tree you're using, depends on what flavour you're getting. And the different flavours that you get when you use like maple wood, apple, cherry. I mean, apple doesn't taste like apple.
No.
But it has a nice smoke flavour. Cherry actually tastes like cherry.
Yeah.
Like I've had it where it's tasted like it tastes like creamy cherries, and I'm like, and then oak, hickory, it tastes like hot dogs.
Yeah. Oh, do hot dogs taste like oak?
Well, probably. My mum always says no, I'm not eating that. It tastes like hot dog. Like, what more do you want?
I think it's if I have to pick one that I could never do one for the rest of my life and do the other, I'd pick grilling just because I think you can do far more with it. But I don't get me wrong, I'm not slating smoking. I just think with smoking, it's not very involved. You put it in, you shut the lid, and then you're waiting around for hours. Do you know what I mean?
8 hours later.
Yeah, you start. There's not a lot. And that's not me saying it's easy, because it's not, because obviously it's an art and you've got to learn how your own smoker or barbecue works, and there's a lot involved in that sense. But with grilling, it's more sexy. Do you know what I mean?
My favourite style of cooking, 100%, is smoked then grilled.
Yeah.
Because you're getting that smoked flavour in.
Yeah.
So I love it when you do a bit of sear on steak on the barbecue.
Yeah. Would you call that smoking though?
I'd say the first part is because like you're at 130 with a chunk of wood in there.
See, I wouldn't call that smoking. I don't think it has enough time.
Well, because your finger, don't you? You're putting the deflector plates in. You're
You're
cooking
just indirect,
indirect.
aren't you? Though.
That's just yeah, what's smoking indirect with a chunk of wood.
I would say smoking is more low and slow. That's how I see it, anyway.
I always think like because again, if I do chicken wings, I'll smoke them for an hour,
Yeah, yeah,
get the flavour in, start rendering that fat down,
yeah.
and then barbecue up to hot temp. Basically, I'm reverse. I must love reverse searing everything.
You like reverse searing?
I just want to reverse sear everything. I don't know. I think it's like a foolproof way of doing it though.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're sort of getting the final element of crisping everything up and the grilling element and getting that flavour in because you know it's all crisping up and the texture
It's
and
a safety net, innit? Safety net.
maybe I just like easy barbecue then.
I wouldn't say it's easy. I just think it is.
I just think it's foolproof.
Yeah.
I quite like that way that I know that if I'm cooking chicken wings at 110 degrees for 1 hour, I know that when I check it, it'll be about 70 degrees.
Yeah.
And then I know that if I get the barbecue up to temperature, I can do a couple of minutes each side and it'll be up to about 77.
Yeah.
Again, wings, you can go up to whatever temperature you want.
I've started taking my wings like 85.
Have you? I mean, when again, though, you know, you just leave it on, you know, you crisp them up a little bit. And I just think it's, I just like the different, you're almost getting different bits of flavour.
Yeah. Yeah. I love both aspects, but I think grilling, I think probably because with grilling, there's less of that safety net that we said, because it's pretty much intense, it's quick. You've got to keep your eye on it. You've got to be careful because it's high heats. It's easy to mess up. So with smoking, I think with smoking and low and slow, for me, I always not laugh, and I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, you know, but I've found through my experience of smoking, if I put something on at 120, 130 degrees that's supposed to be cooked low and slow, I'm pretty much all right at 120, 130 degrees throughout the whole.
I always cook anywhere between 120 and 130. I can't be bothered with
saying I only started messing on
105. At first, I remember cooking stuff at 105. I remember cooking a brisket for like 20 hours at 107 degrees precisely. It had to be precisely 107. And I've then cooked a brisket in 6 hours. And I tell you what, I can't insult the difference.
Well, this is the thing. So, funny story. As we're recording now, I've got a a Denver steak or Denver cut on my barbecue at home. And I started that out. Let me see where it is actually, because it might be. No, we're still all right.
We're still good.
We're still not even at 80
We're still
degrees.
79.
I've only started messing around with temperatures on smoking. Like I say, I used to just go 120, 130, laughing. I've now started to smoke lower for the first hour, just to get the smoke into it.
Yeah, I just set it. To be honest,
But that's only
125 to 135. I set that all the time, and I don't really. To be honest, and
you know where you cooking beef.
Yeah, and I'm not bothered about temperature swings anymore.
No.
I remember I used to be like shitting myself over temperature swings. You know what? I'm not. You know, I'm not cooking competition barbecue.
Yeah,
I'm cooking for my family.
Yeah.
You know, 9 times out of 10, that's what. Unless we're doing a pop up, but 9 times out of 10, I'm cooking for my family. And again, you know, even with some of the new technology like the Kamado Joe connected, or you know, with the pellet grills and stuff like that. I mean, it's easy.
It is easy.
It really is.
We're not blowing smoke up our own backsides here. It's
once you get temperature control, that's half the battle.
Once the penny drops, that it isn't as scary as you think it is. That's where grilling for me is different, and maybe it's because it is a little bit more exciting to grill.
So what we're saying about grilling is we're taking direct and indirect on grilling.
I think so.
Or are we saying that's a bit more roasting when you go indirect?
But it's still part of grilling, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I think it's still part of grilling. So I would put indirect and direct in grilling. I know that's kind of when you go indirect, it's almost like a halfway to
it's almost like baking, roasting.
Yeah.
It's almost like turning your barbecue into an oven.
Yeah. Which I suppose is a good segue to say on this subject of grilling or smoking. If if you were to advise a new barbecuer and they weren't sure whether they wanted to grill or smoke, where would you advise them to go? You wouldn't go with a pellet grill for a start, would you?
No, I mean, I would just 100% say, I mean, you got to get what you can afford. So you get the best you can afford.
Mm.
If I was starting off, I would still start off with Weber.
Yep.
I would 100% still start off with a Master Touch. You start looking at getting temp control and looking at you start off with grilling your burgers and stuff, and you start understanding where your hot zones is and you know, cooking things a bit direct and then moving it to an indirect, making sure that you're not burning stuff, and then, you know, start thinking about roasting stuff, maybe do a bit of a joint
Yeah.
and do it indirect, you know, pile your coals up one side and then have your meat on the opposite sides of the coals, and then, you know, look at snake method again, just steak method, and start understanding, you know, put a water pan in the middle to keep the temperatures constant, start the snake and put 3 or 4 chunks of wood on, and and then start smoking, really.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't advise just jump in smoking. And again,
yeah.
if I was smoking, start off smoking for me, and I say it to a lot of people, is just pork shoulder.
Yeah.
Just
Easy.
cheap pork shoulder.
Easy.
It's just,
Chickens.
yeah, cheap pork shoulder. Chickens, I mean, spatchcock chickens. I love a smoked chicken.
Yeah. And I think once you start doing that stuff, I know it's not very exciting. It doesn't, it's not. I mean, it still is Instagrammable, but it's not going to blow anyone's mind. But once you start doing those cooks and you master them, that's when you can start pushing the bar and trying different things.
Yeah, you just don't want to do, what you don't want to do is you don't want to spend like 100 quid on a brisket and fuck it up.
No.
That's the, I mean, I used to buy all the time, I'd buy these little shitty briskets and I'd do a smoke and a braise
Yeah.
because it's quite foolproof.
Yeah. And don't get stuck in that mindset. We have mentioned this as well. Don't get stuck in a mindset that there's one way to do everything. With you just mentioning braise, that's a great way to make sure that you don't ruin meat when you're first starting, because you're still getting the experience of smoking something. You're still doing that. You're still physically doing
You can
it.
dry it out.
Yeah, but by braising it though, you're sort of saving it.
You can, even if braising it, though, you can dry out the meat and it takes on a bit of a different texture. But I mean, I mean, you probably wouldn't even notice. Like, but I mean, I personally reckon I could notice. But yeah, no, I still would prefer smoking.
Yeah. For me, it's just it's playing with fire. Innit?
What's your favourite smoking one?
Probably it used to be apple.
Yeah,
It used to be apple.
it's so good with chicken.
Used to, because it was a bit of a go-to for everything.
It's so good with
I
chicken.
went through a cherry phase.
I went through the cherry phase, but I
Loved it.
got bored of cherry, and I feel like everything tastes quite similar. So to be honest, my favourite is oak.
Yeah, I'm on oak at the minute. I will move on to something else, and I think it's just that you sort of it's like if you had chips every night for 2 weeks, you're gonna get bored of having chips. You're gonna want something else. So that I think that's what it is. I mean, I find something I like, do it to death, and then I move on to something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm quite liking hickory as well. But again, I don't know whether I've just progressed to liking these really smoky flavours.
Will you palate?
Well, that
definitely
had
changes.
smoke. That was full.
Yeah.
That had hickory smoke.
I think if I would have tasted that and the one I did the other week,
Yeah,
when I first started barbecuing, it probably would have been too smoky for me.
that's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, am I sort of like, does it progress to the point of
I think it does. I think your palate changes.
what? I just love smoky stuff.
I think it does. I think your palate definitely changes. My palate is definitely different now to what it was before I started to work with food.
When I went to that restaurant down in Cornwall, that was smoked more than that.
Right.
That was
That's a
smoked
lot.
more than that, and that's why I was saying that I was surprised that other people, if they don't like smoking,
Yeah.
or they've never had before, I'd thought it was too smoky. But for me, I thought it was banging, and you know, we can eat that because we eat this all day long.
Yeah. I would probably say to people as well, on the subject of different woods and different flavors and the intensity of flavors, when you start smoking, I personally would say, don't worry about the wood. Just smoke with your
Yeah,
charcoal.
you could just do char.
Majesty, I think you get a little bit battered with all the different factors. What wood are you using? How much wood are you using? What temps are you going with? Just get something in there. Get working so you know how your barbecue works with the temps. Regulate that, and then you're still going to end up with a really nice cook at the end of it, even if you're just doing it on charcoal.
Yeah, well, like at Christmas time, I do my turkey on the barbecue and I put no smoking wood.
Yeah.
Because I have smoked meats all the time, all year round. Everything's cooked and smoked on the barbecue with loads of chunks of wood in it all the time. Like, so at Christmas, I just try and do something a little bit different. So with just the flavour of the charcoal. To be honest, I bring it in, and me and the missus can't tell that it's done on the barbecue.
Yeah.
But I'd say that other people probably could.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. My missus is saying my missus can tell, and I can't. A lot of times, I'll just forget to put wood on it sometimes. And it's still great. It still tastes good.
I always put a couple of chunks.
But that's where the difference with, I think, grilling comes in. Because I think whatever, if you're cooking, for instance, if you're cooking a ribeye steak over charcoal, once that fat starts to render and drips down onto the charcoal, and then that smoke comes up, you're getting flavour off the fat anyway. So
what I do like is if I was doing like a spatchcock chicken indirect at about 180, I do like putting the odd chunk of apple wood in.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know whether like it'd produce much smoke because a lot of it would just burn, but it does do something.
You can definitely taste it. Why is it? I think I've seen, what's the guy there? I think he's Canadian, Smoking Dad Barbecue, Kamado guy.
Yeah.
When I first got the Kamado, I watched a lot of his videos, and he was just putting the little tiny pieces in the ashtray. So when the ash was falling down, it was hot.
Yeah, it's quite a good idea.
And it works. It does work. It's very faint. It's very faint flavour, but you definitely get a flavour.
Look at that.
But that's with a Kamado. If you've got a Weber or something, then that's not going to work. But yeah, so I'd recommend, no, if you get a Weber, learn how to use a Weber. If you can use a Weber, you can use anything else.
Yeah.
Because the fundamentals are all exactly the same.
Defo.
And yeah, just don't spend a load of money. Like that said, even if your budget is high, if you've never smoked before, or you've really sort of wet behind the ears when it was a barbecue, I wouldn't blow a load of money on an expensive barbecue.
No.
I'd still get a Weber. Have it for 6 months to just absolutely hammer it.
Again, if you go on Facebook Marketplace after the summer, there is so many Weber kettles.
I've seen Master Touches go for 40 quid. I've got 2, 3.
Just always on there. Always on there. There's always Master Touches on there, and they're always dead cheap. I mean, for me, as I said, just get what you can afford. But you know, a little bit higher than that. You know, even if you get them brand new now, I think a Master Touch is about 200, 250 quid now.
About 220, 230.
You know, you can get some good deals on sort of like Kamado Joe Juniors.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more expensive, probably more like the £400 mark. And then, you know, you've then got stuff like the Traeger Ranger.
Yeah.
You know, you got a little small pellet grill. And when I say little, you can fit briskets and pork shoulders on there. But it's not that small.
No.
You know, again, it depends what you want. It
does depend, which is why I think smoking or grilling comes into play, because I think if you get a barbecue that you can do both on to start with, you might find.
Well, how would you feel?
Smoking.
How would you feel? You just add the smoke fire and nothing else. I don't know how I'd feel, because you can almost grill to a point.
You can grill on the smoke fire.
You can grill, but like what about searing? Like searing.
You supposedly can, but I've never used it for that. A smoke fire you can sear on, but that's that model. But like most pellet grills, you can't.
That's what I mean. Like so, you're just literally stuck with that.
Yeah. That's why the Master Touch it's not exceptional at anything.
It's an all rounder,
but it's good at everything.
Yeah, it's an all rounder. Yeah. Absolute all rounder.
So that's sort of thing. Let us know. You know what you think. Reach out to us on Instagram. We're trying to get more interaction on Instagram. It is getting more and more people are reaching out, which is great. But yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know, are you a new barbecue? What your thoughts are? Or what you think?
What was your first cook like if you were a new barbecue?
Yeah. We'd be really interested to know, because then it obviously helps us advise people when they ask us what.
You know, when I first started, I thought it was amazing because I cooked a roast or something. I thought it was the best thing ever. Cooked a roast or something on the barbecue.
I think you've been barbecuing for longer than me, haven't you?
I think I've been barbecuing now.
I started
quite a while.
I don't count pre-lockdown my barbecuing, because it was just like burgers and sausages. So I only count it during lockdown when I
started getting interested in cooking when. So I'll tell you now when I started. So I started getting interested in cooking in 2011. That was when I started really getting interested in cooking, but that was more just internal cooking.
Yeah, I've always cooked. I've always been interested in
and then
food.
From a barbecue point of view, I'm just trying to think when I actually bought that. I've got photos here when from 2013, but it's on a gas barbecue. Right. So I probably started off with a bit of a gas barbecue.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think, doing stuff like kebabs and stuff like that. Maybe thought it was all cool because I did like breakfast on my gas barbecue outside and that.
Yeah, we've all done that, mate. We've all.
Thought it was all al fresco.
But I think I don't know what it was like for you, but I remember when the because I'm saying the reason I say I brought that up is because I started touring a lot. I think, and it might just because I'm more aware of the community, the UK barbecue community, but it just seems to have been massive now.
Yeah, I never got involved in any community back then. I was just,
Well, just the last 2-3 years, it just seems to have just exploded.
yeah, I never really like logged onto Instagram or put an Instagram account out until probably during lockdown. I mean, or posted anything really.
Yeah.
It's quite, it's probably 2 or 3 years now for me. That's it. It's relatively new.
Well, look how many like garden room companies there are now.
Yeah.
Outdoor kitchen companies. There was none. There was nothing like that. People were just like building things out of old bits of 3x2 and old pallets. I mean, they still are and they do great jobs, but do you know what I mean? It's a massive business now already. I think it's only going to get bigger. So
yeah, hopefully it goes like like America.
I think that's probably a whole topic in itself for another day. But yeah, it definitely is. So if you're coming into it now, you listen to this, you've probably come into it at bang on the right time, I think, because there's just so much content out there. There's community-wise, you've got the Instagram community, you've got the WhatsApp groups that we're in that we mentioned before, Lee Bishop set up. It is Lee Bishop, isn't it? I think it is Lee Bishop, yeah.
I found my first ever picture on my Weber.
Let's have a look.
So my picture is from 2018, which I thought that's where it is.
Yeah, kebabs.
I did that right, and then I did
green, red, and yellow.
Little brisket.
A little brisket. So it looks like a small steak.
Oh my god!
I already know that was quite dry just to look at.
Probably took a picture of it and thought it was amazing, mate. So probably I started smoking then 2018.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a picture of it done. I mean, it's not actually that bad.
No, it's not that bad, that, mate. I stand corrected.
That's the first ever smoke ring.
Yeah, I stand corrected, mate.
It's not a bad one, that.
No, it's a good one for the size of it. Because I think that would be difficult for anyone to cook. For you to cook now.
Yeah.
And get a good result.
Well, I'd just braise it, to be honest. I wouldn't even bother. I'd just literally get it smoking it and then just lob it in a pot full of gravy. I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from 2018, I've been cooking religiously on the barbecue.
And you consider yourself more of a smoker than a griller? That probably works out better, actually, because I probably consider myself more of a griller.
I prefer smoking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I cook anything, to be honest. I try and cook anything on the barbecue. To be honest, I like cooking things on the barbecue that you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah. That's it. I think we've said that before. Like anything you can cook indoors, you can cook outdoors. You just got to find out how you do it. If it is different, normally it's not. It's the same. If you can master your temp controls on whatever barbecue you've got, you're laughing. But yeah, so grilling or smoking, I'd be interested to know what you guys think, which you prefer, whether we are in the UK, whether we prefer smoking.
We even got a photo of that first time that I used a herb brush.
Look at that. Get that on Insta. Right, okay. So I think probably should move on to our
next topic.
So what we'll do is the quicker one will probably be the 12 days of Christmas, which we've already mentioned.
Yeah.
So we've got the 12 days of Christmas coming up, which is obviously 12 days run up to Christmas.
Yeah, just different, a reel each day.
It's a bit of a giggle. It's a bit.
Yeah, we've just found a few recipes that we think is pretty good.
Yeah.
Cooked them, done a bit of a reel, just a bit of content, really.
And what would be really cool is if any of you guys do watch them and you have a go at them, please do tag us.
Yeah.
Tag the pod account. You've got to tag the personal accounts. Tag the personal accounts. And let us have a look at what you've done, because the ones that I've done already, it was fun to do. It was just fun because I wouldn't normally do them. I wouldn't do them because it's Christmas, and I'm thinking, right, can I call this Christmas themed? Like, I wouldn't normally.
What can you call this Christmas themed? Brie,
cranberry. What can I put with brie and cranberry?
Brie, cranberry, stuffing, bacon, vaps. It's got bacon on.
I went camembert. My last one. Like camembert.
See, that's one of my favourite Christmas camembert.
Just melted and you can just dip stuff in it.
Yeah, I found a recipe years ago and I've never changed it. You I put like a crisscrossing.
Yeah.
Because I've tried it with lines, it's not as good. Crisscross, and then you, in each of the crisscross, you put a sprig of rosemary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah.
Salt.
Honey and camembert.
Honey, salt.
Yeah.
Chili flakes.
I put honey. I normally just go honey and salt because it's just mega. And sometimes garlic cloves.
Yeah.
Garlic cloves in it.
Yep.
And then I just go in with biscuits and crackers and all sorts.
No, garlic bread. Honestly.
Sausage.
Sausage.
Sausage. Dip your sausage in. Dip your sausage. Cheesy sausage, mate.
My cholesterol.
But yeah, it's going to be lots of stuff like that. I've done a couple already. Deck's done a couple that are already in the bank. We have a few guests, friends of the pod, who are getting involved and are going to do some of the reels for us, which is a lot of fun. I'm just going to quickly touch on as well. Deck held it up before, the charred book from Genevieve Taylor.
Yeah, the veggie one,
which is a veggie barbecue book. Cracking book. Really.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to using it. I used the meat one at the weekend, the seared one, to do the turkey.
Yeah,
and it is one that I do cook a lot of things out of. So
yeah,
it's one for me. I'll probably make something.
I've done quite a lot out of that. But weirdly, I've probably done more stuff out of that than I have out of like the meaty books that I've got. I don't know why. Probably because I've always just been looking.
Again, I need to cook more, eat more veg, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Genevieve. That is a great book. I don't know how I ended up with 2, but I said on the last pod that I'd give Deck my spare. So that's Christmas present that for you, mate.
Like that jerk spice plantain with shallot and halloumi.
Yeah, you just wouldn't think of it, would you?
No, but I wouldn't miss meat on that one.
No,
for that.
Well, look at the size of it.
I wouldn't miss meat for that.
It looks belty.
I mean, it is cheese, though, isn't it? So.
Yeah. So yeah, the 12 days of Christmas. Please do tag us.
Get involved.
And when we mentioned the books that I recommend, we'll do Deck's recommendations in the new year.
Yeah.
When we did the books that I recommend in the last episode, we got quite a good bit of feedback. Some of the authors started following us and reaching out. We had a few brief chats with them. You may see some stuff in the future on the From the Shack Pod Insta account. So keep your eyes peeled.
Well, speaking of Insta and that, did everyone see me?
The scary.
Me scary.
You should have put that out on Halloween.
You think? I was more thinking of that, like, because everyone's going in the loft to get the trees. I had a bit of a mishap.
I wouldn't call it a mishap. I would call it a grown man absolutely cacking his pants.
God. I genuinely, what it was, I mean, I'll give you some context. We're in the mornings, every morning I'd wake up and I could hear this tapping on the ceiling. So something's in my loft.
Yeah.
I knew something was in my loft. And we've got an oak tree that's near us that's full of starlings. So I thought, I know this is what I know there's a starling in it. I know these starlings get in. And so what I did was, this is years ago now, I got up onto the roof.
It's only getting nervous just living on the story, isn't it?
I got up, I got some 3 tier ladders up and I got just underneath the soffits and I thought, this is about 3 years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago. And I thought, right, I'll bang on the soffits. So, I mean, this isn't a new thing, me issue with these starlings. It's an ongoing problem. I thought I got up and I banged on the soffit and I seen like something fly out.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, that's sound. So I get to climb up and I was going to put some mesh on. Started putting the mesh on. Another one flew out into my face while I'm on the top of the 3 tier. And I'm hanging off this 3 tier ladder, and I nearly went. You know what I mean? Like if you fall back, so you drive, you're on top of your cars. Yeah. You've wrote your car off. So I'm hanging on for dear life, like with this thing flapping in my face. So I mean, that was the first encounter.
Yeah.
And then the year later, again, I'm in bed and I heard tapping on the ceiling. I thought, oh no, he's come back. He's come back.
Coming with a vengeance.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get up in the loft and try and scare it out.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'd done some research.
Yeah.
So the research said, like, you should play owl noises. So I gets up there
with your phone,
with my phone, and I start shouting and that, and started to get out of my loft. It didn't do anything. Like,
can you get out of my loft?
Please get out of my loft, please. It had no effect whatsoever. You know,
I don't think he can speak English.
I thought it would have just gone out. No, had no effect whatsoever. So I thought, right, I know what I'll do. I'll give it a few owl noises. I gave it a few fucking owl noises and the thing started fucking attacking me. And I thought, all I'm thinking is, I'm coming through the ceiling in a minute. It's not boarded. I'm on the joists. I thought I'm going through the ceiling. If I don't get out of this loft quickly, I'm coming through the ceiling. Instead of trying to like bat it out the way and turning the owl music off, I left the owl music on and tried to get out of the loft.
Just run like a little girl.
Screaming the head off. And as I was like, I mean, you can zoom into the video. As I'm sort of getting out the loft and trying to put the loft hatch across, it tries to get out of the loft for me.
If you've not seen this, it's on the podcast Insta, isn't it?
I think I tagged you.
Yeah. So go on the podcast Instagram and have a look at that.
I think everyone should share it. Like, there's no reason why.
Deck screaming like a girl.
The thing is, everyone that watches it keeps messaging me saying they were like crying their eyes out. It was that funny.
It cracked me up. It wasn't what I expected when I seen it. Well, I thought, what's this? What's going on here?
I know.
And then it was
I think my dad was a bit disappointed.
Butcher John's son.
Sorry, Butcher John.
It was funny. Go and check it out. Definitely.
Yeah, check it out. Share it.
Yeah. Okay, so probably our final topic. I think this has been a long episode, mate.
Yeah.
I think we have to address it, I suppose, because
Yeah, well, just understanding what this Bovaer is and and what it is. There's a lot of rumours swirling around.
Yeah. It hit, didn't it? Sort of mid last week.
But this has been approved in the UK since April.
But there's a lot of things that get approved that they get approved silently. There's been a lot going on in the news, and I'm not sure how it's come out. That's why.
Well, it's because Arla Foods has decided they're going to trial it on their farms.
So Arla Foods is one of the biggest food distributors in the UK. Yeah. They supply all of a bunch of the major supermarket chains: Tesco's, Morrison's, Max Spencer, Waitrose, Aldi. I'm not sure about Lidl. But this Bovaer is basically
It's a food additive.
It's a food additive that they give to cattle, which is supposed to stop
them passing wind.
Basically stop them farting, because methane gas has an effect on the ozone layer. Now, methane gas from cattle worldwide, do not quote me on these figures because I only quickly looked into it, but I'm sure worldwide they say is to account for 6% of the issue that we have with the ozone layer. That's worldwide, not UK. So that includes the US with their cattle farms. So what our impact is on our little island and our cows is minuscule. So I don't see the point in doing it. First and foremost,
well, it says it's going to reduce emissions by 30%
in the UK.
In the UK,
because they're trialing it in the UK. That's not worldwide.
No,
so it's not going.
It is authorized in Australia, Brazil, and Canada,
but not America.
Not America.
No. So, and I think America is the main one for methane from cattle, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe Australia.
I mean, it's approved. Oh, sorry, it's authorized in Australia, Brazil, Canada.
I think the thing that's scaring everyone is there's
a lot of misinformation out there.
There is loads of misinformation out there. I'm a bit wary of it from what I've read.
Well, just for me, if you just read some of the ingredients, I'm just a bit like, again, if you read the pack of stuff, that's not a fresh ingredient and it has a ton of stuff on, I'd probably just go, I'm not going to eat that.
So so the thing for me is there's an ingredient in it. I can't remember what it's called, but there's an ingredient in
3-nop.
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 It's got like a long name. That's the abbreviated version of it. 3-nop. But it's apparently.
What's corrosive to eyes?
Yeah, can cause cancer.
It's harmful if you inhale.
Yeah, your respiratory system, it affects your eyes. It has a real.
That's going into our food source.
Yeah, and that's only if you're if you're breathing it in. And they're saying that the amounts that they're using are very minuscule, but still, if someone asked me, do you want this in your beef and dairy products? I would say, no, thanks, I'm all right. Let's not do that. That's my thing. And the fact that they're able to do this without
There's no
letting people know and sort of saying, you know,
there's no study into the long-term effects of this.
no, because it's brand new.
And that's the worry.
This is like vaccines all over again, isn't
That's the worry.
it?
If there was data out there and real data from years.
Well, that's what they're saying. That's why they do these so-called trials. But for me, to put it onto like the mass public, that's not a trial. That's just releasing it.
Mm.
That's just allowing it. I'm very wary of it. I'm going to try and avoid buying milk, butter, yogurts.
I have a milkman. I know.
Well, we use McQueen dairies.
So
We have a
do I.
milkman, and I checked, and the farm they use is not going to have that in it, so we're all right off the milkman.
That's what I use also.
But I won't be buying from any of the big supermarkets just for that reason. Not until, and it's just until, and I'm not saying
Yeah,
this.
we just
We're not saying this is
information.
what you should do. Like we would love again.
It'd be interesting, you know. Like, I just want some information, really.
Yeah,
Just maybe a fact check or something.
If anyone's listening who knows more than we do, which
Yeah.
obviously what we know is very little, do tag us in things online and on Instagram just to get so much, because there's so many, people post things to get clicks. That's obvious. So people do like to scaremonger. Like we're aware of that. We're not naive. But it just does sound like this is not cool stuff to put in your food. I know there's a lot of stuff that already goes into our food, which is not good stuff, which is why we're always harping on about using a butcher, buying fresh, eating fresh.
I mean, I try to I cook most things from scratch anyway.
Yeah. Which is
Most
always the
things.
best. Which is always the best. But I mean, even then, a lot of food's packaged in plastic, and
Yeah, sometimes you like sauces and stuff like that. You have no choice.
yeah. But if you can minimize it, then I think that you should be more cautious and do your own research, look into it. But yeah, I don't like the idea of this stuff. Really, it doesn't. And the amount of hoo-ha that it's caused in such a short space of time. I can't remember the last time something like
There's
this.
just so many conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
You don't know what to believe, if I'm honest.
No, I'm not that stupid that I'm going to believe everything I hear on TikTok. But at the same time,
If like vampires, child
but
trafficking.
then I wouldn't have believed if someone said to me, that Declan Rowland can scream like a girl. I wouldn't have believed it.
Well, check out my list.
Well, no, it's interesting and scary in equal amounts, I think. I would say look into it and do your own research and just check on your packaging, because there's a lot of brands that are linked to it. I was a stalwart Lurpak buyer. I like Lurpak, but I won't be buying it anymore.
Well, even though you have to take a mortgage job to.
I won't be buying it anymore because it's produced by Arla Products, which means that butter is gonna come from milk that comes from farms that they're using it on. So I won't be using that anymore. And I think there's Country Life butter is. Butter was always a bit of a minefield anyway, because there's so many spreads out there which are not butter, which claim they are. It's like, what's that? Elmley. Elmley's not even cream.
Yeah, no. Yes.
That's how crazy is that? I only learned that. I only learned that about 12 months ago.
It says it on the packet.
I'm like, well, I was looking at where does it say it's cream? It doesn't say it's cream. It just says.
Because I always think like I've gone to buy it and instead of cream, and then gone, it's not even cream.
Yeah, it's not cream. What is it?
I don't know.
What is it? Let us know. Reach out only. Let us know what you think. But yeah, it's Bovaer. It's blown up. It's been massive. It's not even been a week, and it's all over. It's all over my feeds on Instagram and TikTok. And I know you get pumped that stuff when you start watching the videos, but it is really interesting, and it seems to be gathering a bit of pace. Apparently, it's linked to Bill Gates and companies that he owns and startup. And apparently, Jeff Bezos invested a lot of money in one of the companies that's involved in it. Again, this is all second-hand information from me. It's non-confirmed. This is when you go online, it's like a rabbit hole. It's just a rabbit hole of information, and some of it's going to be true, some of it's not. But when there's people like that involved, it just makes you think twice. It makes you think, why are they getting involved in the food chain? They shouldn't be getting involved in the food chain. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Has your dad said anything about it?
No, I'm not surprised.
I mentioned it to Liam. Liam didn't know much about it.
I really asked him, to be honest. I might just I spoke to him last night. He dropped some pork ribs off last night.
Yeah, I seen they look really nice.
Yeah, like some French belly ribs.
Yeah.
Got to decide how I'm going to cook them yet. Might be one for the weekend. So maybe on Sunday when this comes out, I might cook them on Sunday.
Whilst listening to this.
Whilst listening to this, listening back to myself.
I can't do it. It does my head in. I hate the sound of my voice. But yeah, really interested what you guys think. Do, just tag us, post on Instagram, or I forgot a Facebook page. I did set up a Facebook page, didn't I? Let us know what you think. It'd be really interesting to see how this plays out and see what happens. But it does affect us because we buy beef and it goes in the feed for cows. So apparently there's only dairy cows though, right? But there's more and more now ex-dairy cows becoming steaks than there was. So it'd be interesting to see what's what, really. Not much more we can say on the subject, really, until we find out. Well, I just thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I think that's it. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
For this episode. I'm not sure how long it's been. It's been quite long, this one. So I hope you stuck with us all the way through. Remember, we are on the socials, as we keep harping on about: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. If you want to watch the podcast rather than listen to it, it is on YouTube. But you can do that on Spotify as well, but I've not worked out how to do it. You can have videos on Spotify. I will try and work it out. But that's it. So the next episode will be our last episode before Christmas.
Yeah.
So it will be a Christmas themed episode. I think we'll just kind of just go with the flow, really, and see what's hot and what's not on the socials, and go from there. Maybe try and get a guest on in time. I've been speaking to a few people for the new year, so we'll have a few interesting guests coming on in the new year.
Yeah, we need to agree what we're actually doing. I'd say for the next couple of weeks, because I go away just after the New Year.
Yeah, we'll work something out. Might even be, if that's the case and we struggle over the holiday period, maybe just getting a guest host on.
Like it.
See what happens.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it from us. Again, do check out all the socials, like we said. And by the time this is released, we will have a winner for the giveaway. So congratulations to whoever you are. And that's it. Yeah. Keep liking, sharing, commenting, tagging us, dropping us messages. It's always nice to hear. And we'll see you in the next pod.
Yep.
Anything to add?
No, all good.
That's it. Take care. See you later.